For those of you who think you need more at home.
For those of you who feel they need to ask for anything.
For those who just need a little nourishment.
We have that at home.
Brunch. We eating, laughing, talking, and having a good old time. And everybody's welcome, y'all. We at
Brunch. We talking everything that you always be thinking about.
What's good? It's Keen, it's Moni, it's Jeesh, and this is We Have That at Home Brunch.
Super excited this week. Welcome, family. Welcome, everybody. This is a little bit of a continuation from what we did last week. Super excited that we are talking about Black entrepreneurship and shining a light on our brothers and sisters who are doing big things. Today, we have Ronnie from HNS Society. Hey, Ronnie.
Hey, how's everybody doing? It's a pleasure to be here on this beautiful Sunday morning. And talking Black entrepreneurship is, something I could do all day. So let's get it.
Tell us a little bit about what you do, your business. We got your Instagram handle up there, HNS 420. We all know the 420 and what that means.
Yes.
Let us know, Ronnie.
Absolutely. Just to give a brief synopsis of how everything happened and how's it going right now. I'm an avid cannabis user. So, I had one of my sessions with my sister and my ex, and we had a session, and I thought of the idea then, we're marketing it as High Nation Society, basically a society of cannabis users. We all believe that cannabis can bring the world together, in the darkest of times. Going to dispensaries, you're seeing different people of nationalities, ages, doing different things in the dispensary, doctors, students, all type of people. Everyone uses cannabis. So, my whole purpose was to shed some light on the positive things about cannabis as far as the health benefits, how it can help you. The plant itself has a THC and CBD, hemp, different elements of the plant, and they all do different things, but they all align together. And, it can help a lot of people that the health is compromised. So I wanted to basically get the negative stigma about cannabis, and kind of with the clothing line, we're going to make it a fashion sense, make it something that people are going to look at as sexy. You smoke weed, you look sexy. So that's the whole purpose of the fashion line. And the podcast, of course, we educate on all the educational things about cannabis on the podcast, and we do it in a fun way, all while smoking on the podcast. So it's the whole vibe.
That's what's
I
up.
love it. Yes. And I think that was the thing that they did with cigarettes back in the day. They got it to be sexy. They targeted Virginia Slims to women, something that was like, cigarettes are 100,000% way worse than weed. I think that flip is very cool.
Yes, thank you. That's the whole idea. I mean, people are so uneducated, and not just about weed, but just so uneducated, period, across the board. They're ignorant. A lot of the same people that can get drunk and pass out and throw up and cause a bar fight and say hurtful, mean. And I'm not getting on drinking because I drink too. Mm-hmm. But when they talk about, these are people that drink that don't use cannabis, that try to say, oh, you smoke weed, you're a certain way, or even certain religious people, they think drinking is okay, but smoking is bad. But I'm like, if you look at the effects of both, drinking is probably part of every bad thing or every possible bad scenario that could happen in a family setting. Alcohol. People that smoke weed be chilling. We don't get in the bar fights.
Bobbing, eating.
All we gonna do is get hungry and get funny.
And then
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's so ignorant to hear people, even anyone that has a negative thing say about people that smoke weed, that'll sit there and pick up a cup of Hennessy in the same breath. It's ridiculous. So, we like to educate on that and talk about and have that conversation with the growth of the marijuana business. We had 8 or 9 new states legalized marijuana in the U.S., and it's going to continue to grow, and federally, it'll pretty soon be federally legal across the states. And that's when, cats like me and people like you that need to get into this business, that's when your money gonna go up, when the popularity and it's all accepted all across the globe.
Absolutely. It's happening right now. Jersey just was added to that list. And something that stood out was you had broke it down into hemp and CBD and things like that. I seen a young lady who was saying that even though all of that comes from this one plant, they've broken it down as to you're more earthy with the hemp, and this is more lighter and more free. And she's like, it's all weed, but people are making different labels for different things because they want to portray people as different characters or different types of people.
Yeah.
I watched the one documentary about weed on Netflix where the root of it being bad was because Black people were using it, of course. And so that made it the worst thing in the world. And now we're trying to reverse these laws. They knew it was bullshit the whole time. That's why they're trying to reverse it. And it's still so much stigma. Could you break down the differences of the hemp and the CBD and all of that? And do you feel the same way? It's all the same thing. They broke it down for their own reasons and things like that.
Yes, well, it all comes from the same plant, of course. But if you're looking at it from a what's the term I'm trying to think of? If you looking at it from a on the as an element, they all look the same on the when you look at it on the what's the word I'm looking for? God Jesus. They all look the same. Molecular. There we go. Molecularly, they all look the same. But it's just one difference with THC. THC is the one that's supposed to get you high. That also has the same effects as CBD and hemp, because CBD and hemp both do different things of healing, for headaches, body aches, pain, anxiety, nausea. They all do that. THC is the one that does all that plus give you the high feeling. Now, the high feeling has been associated with drive-by shootings or negative stuff, but the high side is your creative side. Now, this is just a theory of mine, but they say that you only use 10% of your brain. That's what they say. But I believe when you inhale or when you ingest THC, I believe a couple of percentages of that brain gets opened up because your creative side comes. So the whole difference between THC, CBD, and hemp is THC is the one that gets you high, CBD and hemp doesn't. But it all comes from the same plant. So I agree with you, brother. It's the same shit. They just try to make it negative because Black people using it. And I believe the Africans were using it back in the day. If you look at some of those hieroglyphics and you look at some of those old paintings, you see cannabis plants all on there. So I believe that we've been using it from the jump, and it's unfortunate that a lot of us have been convicted of these high convictions in the 90s for weed, and 20 years Black families hurt and broken up because of having a joint in the backseat.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
That's what we got to reverse.
And not to take it too far left, but that's the same thing kind of what happened with cocaine and crack back in the 80s. Cocaine is a designer drug because of the type of people who were using it, and crack was something different in the way it was flooded into communities. So it became it's crack is dirty, you don't want to do that, whatever. But then if you sniff cocaine, then it's glamorized and looked at something different when it's really the same thing. One is cooked up a little bit and the other one is a powder or something.
Right.
But I think, that sort of thing. And I think you made a good point also, just wanted to say that about the comparing drinking alcohol to weed. It's one of them is that somebody tells you it's okay to do. So you feel like it's okay to do and it's the right thing. But because the other one, the weed is not legal, you're it's bad. And it's you have to think beyond that. Somebody said, just because it's legal to drink, that does not mean that it's a safe thing to do.
Right.
So many things, because of our laws with cars and things like that. We have to wear seatbelts because people drink while they drive, literally.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. That's the whole thing with alcohol. I've lost friends over, me being more open about my cannabis use. I had a friend that got in a bad car accident. And I guess the driver was drunk and high. So she was posting on, oh, you shouldn't drive high. You shouldn't drive. And I was trying to explain to her, I was like, listen, I sympathize for what happened to you. But you can't just try to think, you can't put weed. When you do weed and other stuff with it, that's called being crossfaded. So that's a different dynamic. When you smoke blunts or joints and then go have 5 shots of Hennessy, of course, that's a different type of feeling.
Yeah.
So you can't single out weed saying the reason why that he crashed into you because he was high. It's a different feeling. I used to drive for Lyft, and I'm gonna tell you, 95% of my Lyft rides I did when I was high as a kite.
Mhm.
and I got a 4.94 rating on my when I used to drive. You know, I was great. My customers loved me. So
Yeah.
no one can't tell me nothing about what weed do to you. I've been using it for a very long time, and people need to wake up and smell the coffee.
It's not out here ruining lives. Like it's just not that. It's not that type of drug. People are not dying and ODing. Like it just doesn't go down like that.
Right. Exactly.
To me, it's crazy how like weed is like not a bad thing and it's good for you, but it's staying in your system so long as opposed to like the high society drugs that like leave.
Yeah, you could be a whole crackhead and not get caught.
You could have smoked
for a few weeks and you're good. Like
I could have smoked 2 weeks ago, and that was the last time I smoked and dropped dirty. And it's like, nah, it's like, oh, you fired. Like as opposed to I could have just did a line,
right?
You know what I'm saying, and been lit and caused all kind of hell and that shit in your system quick.
Right.
I think that's wild.
It is wild.
It's all just a setup.
I feel like all drug tests are like testing you for weed because like anything you could get out of your system so quickly. Like weed is the only thing that stays in your system a long time. And it is like ridiculous that people are losing jobs and stuff like that over some weed. It don't make no sense. Wow.
It's funny because, you know, I mean, I've been doing my studying. There's a couple of basketball players. I think Kenyon Martin had an interview and he said that 89% of basketball players smoke weed. Mm-hmm. You know, I've heard, you know, Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, they got a podcast, All the Smoke, and they talk about all the time how when they was rookies, you know, Steven Jackson was a rookie on when he was with the Pacers, and how in Al Harrington, he actually has a weed company called Viola. His grandmother, she's very religious, very strong Christian woman, and she didn't believe in the weed. So what happened was she couldn't see. So I guess he got her to try some form. I can't remember if it was CBD or was it actual weed. It was one of them, but she tried it and she could read her Bible after she smoked it. So she became a fan. She was like, I could read my Bible. And it's a true story. This is how Al Harrington started his Viola weed company. And he was saying now how all the veterans were having him get blunts, and he had to go get the blunt run, and everybody was in there getting high. Like these people been doing this, man. They've been doing this, man. They've been doing this for years. Athletes, football players, 95% of them smoke weed. You know, it's people got to follow suit, man. Follow suit.
For sure. In New York, at least it started with like the medical marijuana. My mom definitely has a medical marijuana card. She has really bad rheumatoid arthritis, and like she got it for the pain. She got into edibles recently. Like she never smoked weed, wasn't her thing. But now like it really does. And she likes the THC part because yes, the CBD takes away the pain, but she likes the little high feeling. And I'm like, you in pain all day. You want to feel a little relief. You want to feel good.
Right.
Definitely good for people who are having those certain problems. Like it is helpful. Just because it doesn't come in a little bottle with a million little side effects, all that stuff does not mean it's not something that can help you.
Right.
Exactly.
And it's so wild how much we like going through to even wipe off that stigma that weed is bad, when it's like we'd take a pill that got 1,000 side effects that's gonna fix one problem and cause 100 with the quickness, just because of how it's presented to us. And then it's like we got weed that's just like a bad thing when it really is not a bad thing at all. Like it is crazy how something is presented to you like affects like how it's, you know, took in society when it's not even a bad thing. We're here trying to convince the world that it's not a bad thing. And we're like, here go a pill that's, you know, it'll get away your sinus, but heartache, nausea,
running. Oh, that's it.
Exactly.
Ronnie, I wanted to ask, like, I know, so there are different types of weed. Could you talk to us a little bit about like a sativa or an indica, and maybe like those different effects and why some people may experience like, this is where this kind of comes from a little bit. People say that when you smoke weed, you lose your ambition. And I'm like, I don't know if that's true.
I will definitely like to touch on that. So that's definitely another one of those false narratives that has been thrown out there. You can't blame weed on a lazy person. A lazy person is a lazy person. Period. That person gonna be lazy whether they smoking weed, whether they watching TV. They're just lazy. You can't blame that on weed. Now, to answer that question about the indica and the sativa, yes, they have different effects. So an indica most of the time is going to give you that relaxed feeling. It's going to give you that relaxed, body high. You're going to be really, really, really chill. So you want to only do that indica when you're in a chill setting, such as after work or on your way to bed, or when you're trying to hang out with your lady or your man. You want to do the indica. Sativa is the exact opposite. The sativa is going to give you the energy. It's going to give you the ability to think. It's going to give you that creative side. You're going to want to do something. You're going to want to be active. Now they haven't put them together, called a hybrid. So you can get a hybrid that has a little bit of both that'll keep you balanced to where you can do them at any time of the day. So before you smoke, you just got to educate yourself a little bit, and then you won't say stuff like weed makes you lazy or everybody who smokes weed is lazy. Because I've been smoking weed my whole life, and I am not lazy.
And I know plenty of people like that. Like, it's just, and I think it's different. Like, sometimes, like, if people are still young, like, and they're smoking, like, that's different. You have to wait till people like grow up a little bit and grow into themselves. Like, you have no idea if someone's ambition is killed when they're like 19. Right. Like, you're never gonna be anything. You're lazy because you're smoking weed.
Right.
Although I hope those are not the conversations anymore. I think like the idea is changing, like the way it's viewed.
I think slowly but surely. I mean, you still have people that it's funny because people don't trip off people that smoke cigarettes in public. And cigarettes, it's been proven that secondhand tobacco smoke kills and all that other stuff, but people don't care. But let you light up a blunt in a parking lot of a movie theater before you're trying to go on the movie or something like that, you're gonna be people that's looking at you like you're crazy, like you shot somebody or something.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
so
crazy.
It's yeah.
Do you do edibles and stuff like that, or is it just smoking?
So edibles.
The edible story. Everybody got the edible story.
I got several of those. Don't know if we have time for all of them, but I can give you one. Edibles are cool. You just have to really, really pace yourself and know what you're doing, know what you're eating, because the very first time I really did anything with edibles, I had met my big brother for the first time that didn't grow up with us, and he came out to visit us. So, we turning up. We going to the beach. My brother-in-law go get a bag of edibles. I pop a sucker and I pop a gummy bear, and I think I ate a piece of brownie before we left the house. So now we're going to some beach in LA, and I swear this was around the time when Drake's song "I'm On One" was hot. I swear I went to sleep in the car with that song playing, and every time I opened my eyes, that song was playing. I'm on one. Like I swear for God, like I was so damn lit. I didn't know what to do. I was scared. Like, yeah. So edibles. I don't really mess with the edibles like that unless I know I'm not doing anything. If I'm at home, if I have people around me that I trust, that's the only way I'm gonna do an edible.
You gotta clear the schedule off of edible.
Is wild.
Maybe like it'll hit in an hour, but then you find and you're like, and then 2 hours later, your eyes are blood.
It literally hits. It's so crazy. I had one, my friend, they were like, be aware, it's just a cookie. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay. I had that little cookie. It was a little chocolate chip cookie. Oh, I thought life was done for me. I was stuck. I was trying to be careful when I was moving. Like, I hope they can't see me walking sideways across the People was talking around me, and I'm like, I want to respond, but I can't. I'm not quick enough to say a word. So I'm sitting there like,
that's how
it's crazy.
Yeah, we saw King.
Yes, for sure. It's like in your head you interacting and you walking and you moving, but really you just stuck like
right.
Yeah.
You think you doing all this in your head, like you really can't do nothing. Your body like I ain't doing nothing.
Body won't move. It will stop on you in a minute.
Man, them body eyes ain't nothing.
It's crazy. So one question that we have for you that was inspired from your page is leaving your job to get into the industry.
Whoa, you guys been researching. That's dope. You know, that's actually a nice story to bring up. Initially, I was working for Metro Transportation Company in LA. It's a train and bus company in LA. Pretty good job, good benefits, decent pay. And I was participating. I was in another business with another partner of mine. We were creating a tax app. It's in the tech world. So we were making some noise in the tech world. We were nearing funding. We had got an incubatorship at Cal State Fullerton, and they offered us verbally $990,000 funding verbally. And you know, we had one of the angel investors. He was we felt the racist energy. So when we had our meeting to finalize it on paperwork, everything changed. You know, they changed it to 10,000 from almost $1 million, and we had already quit, put in our 2 weeks notice at the jobs. You know, her job and my job. So that's when I initially left the job, because I've always knew that I was going to be an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
I just didn't know how. So that didn't end up working out, and I stumbled on into High Nation Society, and you know, I've been blessed to be in position to be able to put into this and put a lot of time into this and put a lot of money into this, and that's where I'm at today with it. I definitely left the 9-to-5 world to go ahead and pursue an entrepreneur dream, and not dream, but a goal. It's not popular, you know. I'm a father. I'm a single father of three kids, and I raise them. I have 85% custody. So yeah. So balancing that, providing for them and owning the business is challenging at times, but I believe this is my destiny. I believe this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I believe I'm walking in my purpose. So I believe it's going to continue to grow.
Awesome.
Ronnie, that is a good story, because you quit your job thinking you were about to step into like $1 million deal.
Yes.
Something different. Now, wasn't that something bigger than you, pushing you out of that position?
Right.
You landed somewhere.
Yeah.
On your feet.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Absolutely. You step out of comfort. You know, having a job is comfortable. You get your same check every 2 weeks. You know, you get your vacation every, you know, me, I just always thought I might be crazy for saying this, but I never got off on the idea of somebody telling me when to go to break. I'm like, I'm a grown ass man. How you going to tell me when to go to break? You know,
a lot.
Not in 10 minutes.
You know what I mean? Or I'll come back 10 minutes later and you got a whole lecture for me. If you don't get the hell out of my face,
it's hard. Yeah. I feel it.
You know, I just, the whole job thing, I busted I busted my chops out. I did my time. I worked hard when I worked, and I did work hard, and I just didn't. I saw the bias, I saw the racism, I saw the, you know how I go. You know how I go for us in these companies. You know, I've been through all that. So, you know, I said I got to make my own path.
Right. So even though you knew it was your path, were you hesitant about anything getting started?
I was, because honestly, starting, I thought I was gonna need a whole lot of money. You know what I mean? I'm like, I had an idea, and I was just like, man, I thought I was gonna need a whole lot of money. But a good friend of mine, Camila, she's a good friend of mine for 20 something years. I was talking to her about it, and she was like, bro, all you gotta do is take it one step at a time. Yeah. So I literally did that. I got my logo made. You know, I did my research to see if my name was taken. Then I got my website built. I got my LLC, got my DUNS number. Then I got my business bank account, website built, merchandise made. I bought my podcasting equipment out of my pocket. I started networking people. Then that's how I linked up with the politicking forum with Kaylin Bonds. You know, we met on Facebook. Shout out to politicking forum, Kaylin Bonds. We met on Facebook, and we clicked. We had a meeting the next day. We met for 3 hours, and it's a wrap after that.
That's what's up.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Sir.
So starting on you brought up like racism a little bit. Do you have that same experience now that you're an entrepreneur, when you're trying to like make your way into different?
Oh my gosh, it's even worse in the entrepreneur world.
I thought you were gonna say no. Like I thought you were gonna say swear.
No, absolutely. With you know, dating back to when we have the tax app now in the tech world is only 1% black.
Okay.
My partner was a bisexual female, so she had it even worse. In the tech world, the bisexual females is 0.2% or something like that.
Right.
So we were going to tech events with you know, people, representatives from Google, Facebook. We were rubbing elbows with a lot of high power white people, and we were always the oddballs in the group. You know, I had my hair, you know, my natural hair out, my fade on the side, earrings. You know, she's a bigger black woman, so of course we're sticking out, and we experience a lot of minority. So yes, it's definitely a racial bias, and as far as especially with banks and funding and stuff like that isn't out there for us. So, you know, and then people associate weed with negativity, and then they associate with a negative black man. So it's been hard, getting people to see what I'm really doing here without judging. They see the chronic leaf, they see a black man, and they like, that's just another nigga smelling weed.
Yeah.
So,
Right. Yeah. It's crazy.
That's something that's been hard to overcome. But yes, definitely been experienced a lot of racial biases in the entrepreneur world.
That's going to add to your story in the long run.
Yes. Have you been able to find a community of other like growers, or like try to start building that like network of people who like people of color who would be supportive?
It's been really difficult with that. I'm trying. I've been definitely reaching out and talking to different people. I am talking to people about a grow operation. But yeah, it's been hard to find people because a lot of us, black people, a lot of our own problems when we're against ourselves is we try to compete with each other instead of helping each other. We want to be the first one to get popping. We want to be the first one to shine in the stunt instead of saying, look, you got that, I got this, and you got that. Let's do the Rockefeller. Let's put it together and make this big empire. Let's do, you know what I'm saying? So it's hard to really get a lot of us. I don't get a lot of support from my own people. Just to be honest, like it's hard. Straight up, I don't get a lot of support from my own. I have, a lot of people that I'm close with that has not, bought, worn, or purchased one piece of my merchandise. And you try not to say that so you won't guilt people into doing it.
Right, you don't petty, but then you also like, hey, like I'm doing something. I would like you to support me, like real.
Man, $15 for a shirt, $20 for a shirt. You spend that on some food.
Or we like.
I don't get it. This is how we make brands blow up. Why do you think Gucci is what it is? Not because it's just got so much better quality than everybody, because everybody buys it. So if you take a black brand, clothing brand, and everybody get behind that, that's how that brand goes up. Right. So it's like, I don't understand how you have people that say they mess with you and they love you, and they don't support. I just don't understand it. I don't get it.
Wow. It's like we don't see value in the stuff that's like accessible to us and right at our hand. We want the stuff that's like making us break our bank, go broke, miss a meal. So we want that stuff.
Right.
And I think that's another part of that, like brainwashing, or kind of like people telling you what to do. You only believe in something if it's bigger than you, or it's so far away, so distant that you don't understand it. It's like somebody who's doing something in your neighborhood. You're like, oh, he not really nothing. He not doing nothing. I know him. He came from XYZ, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you gotta stop that thinking. Like, this person is making a business, like it's valuable. You don't have to go so far away from you and who you are in your community to think that something is good.
Right.
It's the hater in people. Like, if you notice on Instagram and Facebook, they done messed up where they done been dry snitching. We can tell what's going on. So if you got a post where you post a video, okay, for instance, I posted a video of highlights from my photo shoot a couple months ago, and I got over 600 views on it, but only about 5 likes.
Yeah.
So you got all these people watching this video, and they just don't want to push the like button because they don't want to give me that satisfaction.
And that's so wild. Like, how spiteful can you be?
That's hating.
You gotta start writing, please like.
You're hating. That's hating.
You looking.
You scrolling past it, you know what it is, and you just not gonna like it.
You just not gonna like it. You're not gonna reach.
You're gonna stare at it for about 10 minutes and observe and see what's going on. And pull it apart possibly, but it's like you're not gonna like it.
Exactly.
That's too much. That's too much energy. Everything else is cool, but just boop, that's too much energy.
Right.
And it's like, if you like my post, that doesn't mean nobody's gonna like your post. Like, they're just not. They don't have anything to do with each other. You lose nothing by pushing a like button. Absolutely nothing. Like, it doesn't make sense.
You lose nothing. You lose nothing by sharing. Like, I even tell family members and friends, like, okay, it's not gonna cost you $1 to share and hype up a brother business.
Right.
Like, if you got everybody hyping up your business, then you might get traction there. Like, it don't take each time. I know everybody ain't on social media all the time. I get that, but the people that are, like, when I do see something that somebody's doing that I know and it's an entrepreneur, I'm share, boom, go F with this person, or go look at this post. I'm doing it off the top. And if I could buy something or purchase something, if I'm in that position, I'm doing that too.
Right.
We just want to
thinking about it. We gotta invest into each other. And the crazy thing is, that's the truth. Your family, I've been interested in starting businesses for a while now, and in a lot of the seminars, they The number one thing that they say is that your friends and family are not your customer base. They're not your customers. You can't help but to feel that they are because there's love, there's support, and things like that. But people do not entertain you when you get into a business. They don't entertain it. And it's a crazy thing because we're not investing into each other. But we know you're doing the work, Brother Ron, because your page is popping. So what's some things that you did when it came to networking and things like that to bring growth into what you're trying to build?
Well, last year I did before the pandemic hit with the Politicking Forum with Caitlin, my partner. We and shout out to my co-host Tez for my show. Cortez is my boy for my show, but we did a lot of turn up Tez. We did a lot of we did a lot of events last year. You know, we went to the HAPA Awards. You know, we went to Vegas to do a podcast. We met a lot of people. We did a lot of networking. So, you know, out there exchanging numbers, exchanging social media handles, you know, partnering with people and, you know, paying for promoting your page and just doing all of that stuff. You know, I spend money doing that and, you know, helping with the whole social media algorithm thing, you know, stuff like that. Just trying to focus and really get it popping. Because for some reason, popularity is everything nowadays. So for people to even respect you, you got to get them numbers up. Yeah. So, you know, been working hard on trying to do that and, you know, hopefully turn this thing into a $1 million business, you know, next year.
Well, I definitely believe it. Yes. We was checking out the site. I'm going to purchase something for myself. So you're going to see me.
Yes.
I got to see what's going on.
Yes. Appreciate that.
Family.
Yes, definitely.
So I think that's all we have, Ronnie. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, no. The pleasure is mine, man. You guys have a great show here. Like, I like y'all energy. I like y'all personalities. It's like it's a great show. Like I'm a fan.
Well, I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
you can
definitely.
find Ronnie again at HNS 420, HNS High Nation Society 420. Visit the page, shop the site, support. The clothes are dope. It's cool and it has a good message. Smoking weed can be sexy, sophisticated, all that good stuff. No negative stigmas. Show love and support.
Yes. If I could add one thing, I don't know if I'm out of line for adding. Just everyone be on the lookout. We're expanding much more, doing more than just clothing and podcasting. You know, HNS, we're going to be writing films, documentaries, plays. We got more coming next year, so just stay tuned.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up. We are all a family. We all part of that Politicking Forum platform. Yes. So maybe we'll all be involved at some point.
You will. No, you will. They don't know. Maybe you will.
Turn up. We'll be there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.